Have you ever been deceived, betrayed, or manipulated simply because you couldn't read someone's true intentions? Today, we end that weakness. With Machiavelli's 14 psychological tactics, you will learn how to strip away the masks people wear and uncover their hidden truths instantly. In the game of power, words are cheap, masks are many, and deception is the rule of men. To survive, and more importantly to rule, you must master the art of perception. It is not enough to hear what is spoken. One must look beyond the veil, beyond the mask, into the movements, the gestures, the smallest betrayals of the human body. Consider this: every man believes himself to be a master of disguise. He thinks that by dressing in fine garments, by arranging his smile, by choosing careful words, he can conceal his true intentions. Yet he forgets nature always rebels against artifice. The eyes will flicker, the shoulders will tense, the lips will tremble ever so slightly. These are not accidents, these are confessions. And if you, the observer, sharpen your sight, sharpen your hearing, sharpen your perception, you will uncover truths that even the man himself is unaware he has revealed. The art of perception begins with attention. Not ordinary attention, for the common man listens with his ears alone. No, you must become a predator of detail. When your rival speaks, do not merely listen to the words that fall from his tongue. Ask yourself, what do his hands say, clutching, trembling, or hidden away? What story do his eyes tell, darting toward the exit, or locking upon you with intensity too heavy to be natural? Does he lean forward to conquer, or lean back to protect? Every movement is a language. Every silence is a declaration. When a man shifts in his chair, it is not by chance. When a woman crosses her arms, it is not comfort but defense. When a voice rises too high, it is not strength but insecurity shouting in disguise. Those who learn this language of perception will read others as easily as one reads a book. But understand this well: perception is not a trick for curiosity. It is a weapon. A prince does not read men simply to know them. He reads them to control them, to anticipate betrayal, to strike before being struck. In the court, in the council, in the marketplace, men will cloak their ambitions. Yet to the one who observes, to the one who watches without distraction, all masks fall away. Think of the eyes again, for they are the first betrayers. They will betray affection before the lips admit love. They will betray contempt before the tongue dares speak insult. They will betray guilt before the confession is forced. Watch them not only when they look upon you, but when they look away. For when a man averts his gaze, he is revealing to you what he fears most, that you might see into his soul. And then there is the rhythm of speech. Some men speak quickly, as if speed will conceal the cracks in their story. Others pause too long, believing that silence will lend them authority. But every pause, every stammer, every hurried word is a window. The skilled observer never listens for the surface of the sentence, but for the cracks beneath it. Even laughter, that most joyous of sounds, is an admission. Too loud, and it is forced. Too short, and it is bitter. Too frequent, and it is an attempt to distract. A man who cannot laugh sincerely is a man who cannot be trusted. For even joy becomes a mask he wears poorly. When you study a person's behavior, look also at what is absent. Does the man never look you in the eye? Then he hides something. Does the woman never ask a question? Then she has already decided what she believes. Emptiness speaks as loudly as fullness, absence as loudly as presence. To perfect the art of perception, one must not only see and hear, but feel. Allow your instincts to sharpen. When the air grows tense, when the body stiffens, when a word strikes too sharp, your instincts are telling you that something is amiss. Trust them. The instincts are the mind's perception moving faster than words, faster than logic. The art of perception, then, is both science and instinct. It is the careful dissection of human behavior and the silent trust in one's own intuition. It is the ability to hear the unsaid, to see the invisible, to feel the hidden currents that move within every encounter. Once mastered, no smile will fool you, no oath will bind you, no mask will remain unbroken. For you will see men as they are, not as they pretend to be. Every man, every woman, every ally, and every enemy you shall ever encounter wears a mask. It is stitched carefully across their face, polished with smiles, decorated with courtesy, perfumed with words that soothe, flatter, and mislead. This mask is not chosen by chance. It is designed with intent. For in the theater of power, no one dares walk unguarded, no one dares reveal the raw face of truth. To survive among wolves, men learn to wear sheep's clothing. To hunt among lions, they pretend to be tame. Yet remember this, no mask endures forever. The mask exists because the truth is dangerous. People fear that if they expose their desires, their ambitions, their weaknesses, they will be devoured. And they are correct. Thus, they cover their hunger with courtesy, they hide their envy with praise, they conceal their hatred with politeness. But to the trained eye, to the mind sharpened by suspicion, these disguises are fragile. The truth is always there, waiting, restless, eager to escape the prison of pretended civility. If you wish to dominate the hearts and minds of men, you must not be seduced by masks. You must learn to pierce them. Observe closely when a man is forced to improvise, when he does not have time to polish his words. In these sudden moments, the mask slips and the truth peeks through. Listen to the accidental word, the misplaced sigh, the nervous chuckle. These are betrayals far louder than any speech rehearsed in advance. Do not think that the mask is only made of words. It is also made of posture, of fashion, of ritual. A courtier may bow too deeply, believing his display of loyalty hides his ambition. A merchant may dress in humility, believing his plain attire conceals his vast greed. A friend may place a hand upon your shoulder, believing this gesture of closeness will disguise the envy burning in his chest. The mask takes 1,000 forms, but all of them, sooner or later, crack beneath the weight of truth. Consider how often men smile when they wish to strike, how often they nod when they wish to resist, how often they applaud when they secretly despise. The mask is not silence, it is performance, and every performance contains flaws. Look not at the rehearsed gesture, but at the hesitation before it. Look not at the words themselves, but at the breath before the words. In that small hesitation, in that tiny imperfection, the truth struggles to escape. There is also the matter of consistency. A mask must be maintained at all times, but no man alive has the strength to perform endlessly without error. Today he flatters you, tomorrow he contradicts himself. Today he promises loyalty, tomorrow he avoids your gaze. A true face requires no effort, but a mask requires constant energy, and in exhaustion lies revelation. Watch when men grow tired, when wine loosens their lips, when anger breaks their control. In these moments the mask is shattered, and the naked truth stands exposed. The wise ruler, the clever manipulator, never attacks the mask directly. For if you accuse a man of falsehood, he will only tighten the disguise, strengthen the performance. Instead, let him believe you are deceived, let him grow careless, let him drown in his own illusion of success. Then, when he least expects it, when his mask has slipped and his truth is laid bare, you strike, not with weapons of steel, but with knowledge, with certainty, with mastery of perception. Remember, the mask is a prison not only for you, the observer, but also for the one who wears it. To maintain falsehood is to live in chains. The liar is enslaved to his lie, the deceiver bound to his deception. And as chains grow heavy, as time weakens the arm, the prisoner reveals his suffering. The mask that once shielded him becomes the very weight that exposes him. And you, if you are patient, if you are relentless, will see through the performance into the trembling truth that no man can ever conceal forever, to command men, to outwit rivals, to see into the soul of every creature that crosses your path. You must master not only observation, but the arsenal of psychological tactics. These are the weapons hidden not in steel or fire, but in the mind, subtle, silent, and deadly. Where armies fail, where force cannot reach, psychology conquers. With it, you strip the mask from your enemy, bend the will of your ally, and carve the truth from the silence of those who dare not speak. Understand that men are not ruled by reason. They like to believe they are, but their choices, their fears, their loyalties are forged by emotion, envy, pride, desire, and dread. Thus, he who masters these currents of emotion does not need swords, for he already possesses the strings by which all men dance. The psychological tactics are many, but their essence is simple. Learn where the heart is weak and press upon it. Consider the tactic of silence. Few understand its power. Speak less, and you force the other to fill the void. In their eagerness, they reveal themselves. They explain too much. They justify without reason. They confess by accident. Silence is a mirror in which men cannot help but expose their reflection. Then there is the tactic of contradiction. Present a man with a version of himself he cannot reconcile, and you shall watch his mask crumble. When his actions betray his words, remind him gently, and his own conscience becomes your weapon. Another tactic is the illusion of choice. Men believe themselves free, when in truth they are caged. Offer two paths, both of which lead to your desired end, and your subject will feel he has decided, even as he marches exactly where you wish. There is power in this subtlety, for men resist commands, but they embrace the illusion of freedom. Observe also the tactic of pressure. No mask survives when the heat is great enough. Place a man under strain, deny him the comfort of calm, and he will reveal his truest self in desperation. Watch how he bargains, how he pleads, how he lashes out. These reactions are not rehearsed, they are instinct, and instinct is truth. Deception, too, is among the most dangerous of tactics. To deceive is not simply to lie, but to craft a reality so convincing that your subject clings to it willingly. Let him believe you are weak, and he will lower his guard. Let him believe you are loyal, and he will reveal his plans. Let him believe you are ignorant, and he will speak truths he would never confess to an equal. A man who believes he has outwitted you is already defeated, for pride blinds him more surely than darkness. Remember also the tactic of reflection. Men love themselves, and therefore they love those who appear to mirror them. If you wish to gain trust, reflect his values, his speech, his manner, until he mistakes your shadow for his own. In that moment he welcomes you not as rival but as confidant, and once within his trust you possess him entirely. The heart of psychological tactics lies not in force but in subtlety. To the untrained eye they appear invisible, like the movement of a whisper through a crowded hall. Yet they are more devastating than any blade, for when a man is conquered by steel, his body is broken. But when a man is conquered by psychology, his spirit bends, his loyalty shifts, and he becomes your instrument. He serves you not knowing he has been mastered. He obeys, believing he is free. He reveals himself, believing he is safe. And in this way, with tactics of the mind, you do not merely read men, you rule them. To read a man is not enough. What use is knowledge if it is not turned into advantage, if it is not wielded as a weapon to secure your dominion? The art of perception, the piercing of masks, the arsenal of tactics, all of these serve one purpose: power. Power is not given. It is seized, preserved, expanded, and defended. Those who hesitate are devoured. Those who act without foresight are undone. But those who learn to read others quickly, to judge them before they even know they have been judged. Hold a blade that cuts deeper than any sword. Consider what happens when you walk into a chamber where your rivals await. To the untrained man, all faces are equal. All smiles appear the same, but you, trained in perception, armed with tactics, you see differently. One man leans forward, eager, restless. He desires something, perhaps power, perhaps favor. Another avoids your eyes, his hand tightening against his sleeve. He hides fear or guilt, or perhaps a betrayal not yet revealed. A third showers you with compliments, too sweet, too practiced, too rehearsed. You already know his loyalty is false. In a single moment you have divided the room, identified threats, and prepared your strategy while the others still believe they are concealed. This is advantage. With such knowledge, you can bend every encounter to your favor. When you see a man's hunger, you know how to bait him. When you sense his fear, you know how to threaten without raising a blade. When you detect envy in his tone, you know how to use it to pit him against another. Reading others is not the end. It is the beginning. For once you see the truth, you hold the strings, and every man becomes a puppet. Understand this well. Most men reveal themselves too late. They discover betrayal only after the knife has entered their flesh. They realize envy only after it has poisoned their circle. They perceive weakness only after their enemy has struck. By then, the moment is lost, and with it their crown, their fortune, their life. But the one who reads instantly never suffers such a fate. He strikes first, preempts every move, and turns the battlefield into a game already won before it begins. Do not be deceived into thinking advantage lies only in strength. Armies can be defeated, riches stolen, thrones toppled. True advantage lies in foresight. A single glance, a single observation can grant more than 1,000 soldiers. For if you know a man's heart, you know his next move. If you know his weakness, you know where to strike. If you know his desire, you know how to bind him. And so, every word spoken to you, every gesture made in your presence, is not mere behavior. It is intelligence. It is power offered into your hands. Think of the enemy who conceals his dagger with a smile. To others he appears harmless. To you, his trembling hand, his overeager eyes, his calculated charm. Betray him, you are ready before his strike. He believes he has deceived you, but it is you who have deceived him, allowing his mask to hold until the moment you turn it against him. This is advantage, not to wait for truth to reveal itself, but to seize it, to wield it, to use it before the enemy even realizes he has been discovered. Every prince, every leader, every ruler who endures understands this law. Survival belongs not to the strongest, nor even to the bravest, but to the most perceptive. Those who see before others, who interpret faster, who strike with knowledge, bend the court of fate itself. In the great game of power, knowledge of men is the highest weapon, and advantage belongs only to those who never waste a single detail, a single gesture, a single flicker of truth. Now you have seen the hidden theater of human nature. You have learned that men wear masks, that truth bleeds through cracks, that perception is an art and tactics are weapons. You understand that to read others is not a parlor trick, but a path to power, a shield against betrayal, a dagger against deception. Remember, the world is not ruled by honesty, but by appearances. Men will tell you what you wish to hear. They will smile when they despise you. They will swear loyalty even as they sharpen their knives. But with these lessons you are no longer blind. You see the twitch of the eye, the falter of the voice, the hunger hidden behind courtesy. You see what others cannot, and because of this you will act before they do. Do not squander this knowledge on idle curiosity. Use it. For in every court, in every council, in every hall, advantage belongs to those who read first and strike first. Armies may falter, fortunes may vanish, kingdoms may fall, but the one who masters the perception of men shall always rise again. You now hold the greatest weapon a prince, a ruler, a master of fate can possess. The power to see men not as they pretend to be, but as they truly are.